What is up, everyone, and welcome to the NBA Player Prop Show for Monday, February 15th, 2021. Another day of props, 7-game slate tonight. Like normal, going to go through a few props that I like tonight. Then we will take any and all questions. But first, just wanted to remind you about Thrive Fantasy, who is a partner of SportsBird. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy sports app for player props. So look, if you're sitting in here right now, you will likely love this app. I mean, this is basically they're giving you 10 prop options. You got to put 5 of them in your lineup, pick the over-unders for them, and a points value is assigned to each prop. The more risky it is, the more points it is, and the people who accumulate the most points win a cash prize. And if you sign up today using the promo code BIRD, BURD, you receive an instant match bonus up to $50 with a minimum deposit of $20 or more. Be sure to check that out. Thrive Fantasy, App Store or Play Store. You could download it. You could also check it out at thrivefantasy.com. Promo code BIRD, BURD. Be sure to check that out. Now let's get right into the player props. What's up, everyone? Saying what's up in the comments. What's up? Gonna head to the props right now. Like always, we got our graphics, we got our banners, and we got Draymond Green over 8.5 assists. Death taxes, Draymond Green playing the small ball 5. Death taxes, Draymond Green over assists. So 8.5 assists here. So like we've been doing this for a week and a half now with Draymond. Wiseman and Looney still out tonight, which means we'll get small ball lineups. Draymond Green playing the 5. In Draymond's last 6 games, where Kevin Looney and James Wiseman are both out the entire game, he's cleared this 8.5 assist number 5 of those 6 games. And those 5 times that he's cleared it, he's been in double digits. He's averaging 11.7 assists over this 6-game span. The only time he did not clear this 8.5 number was against the Nets last game. He played a few minutes less than he would have. He kind of got hurt with that knee injury and then came back into the game. And then also was a blowout. So he only played 32 minutes when he's been playing 33.8 over the last 6. So he probably was shorted on 2 or 3 or 4 minutes in that game based on the fact that he got hurt and based on the blowout. Cavaliers, not that tough of a matchup for Draymond Green. They rank 15th in opponent points per game at 111, I should say, 111.9, 15th in opponent assists per game at 24.7. Draymond's assist percentage is at 33.2%, which ranks in the 99th percentile of all bigs in the NBA. I like Draymond to go over 8.5 assists tonight. You get that line at minus 130 on FanDuel. If it moves to 9.5, honestly, I like it too. If you checked out, I had my Stars and Scrubs show on Sal's channel today, and basically I did a new thing today where I picked a monkey knife fight prop. Originally, it was at 9.5, and I had Draymond over as part of that prop for monkey knife fight. So if it does move to 9.5, I still like the over, but right now I'm seeing it at 8.5, which I like a lot. It was at minus 110 earlier today. Now it moved up to minus 130 on FanDuel, but we'll still take it. I think he definitely hits that over 8.5 number. Like always, just remember to be sure to send your questions in the chat. I will get to them once we finish going over my props for the day. And the next one we're going to talk about, James Harden over 10.5 assists. James Harden has been an assist machine since he's been with the Nets. He's averaging 11.6 assists per game over 14 games with the Nets. He's cleared this 10.5 assist number in 11 of his 14 games with the Nets. Once again, James Harden will be playing without Kevin Durant tonight, so his usage rate will be high. His usage rate in 3 full games without Kevin Durant last week was at a combined 30%. In the last 12 games combined, his usage rate has been at 23%. So obviously a 7% usage rate increase is pretty significant with Kevin Durant out. He now goes up against one of the worst defenses in the league in the Sacramento Kings. The Kings rank 29th in opponent points per game at 118.4, 26th in opponent assists per game at 29.5. And look, I think it should be a huge game for Harden. I think he'll go over 10.5 assists in this game. Get it at minus 122 against FanDuel. The over-under in this game also at 242.5. Absolutely ridiculous. And as a result, the next prop we're going to talk about is Jarrod Fox over 25.5 points or over 6.5 assists. So I do like both of these props, but I probably will only pick one eventually. But I do like both of them, so I want to put both of them up there. Jarrod Fox having an underrated, amazing season. And honestly, Jarrod Fox has been one of my guys since he was in Kentucky. I absolutely love the guy. And I did not realize how good of a season he's having. He's kind of hidden on that Sacramento team, but is honestly a borderline all-star at this point. He's been really, really good. and averaging 23 point. And I mean, I had a tweet earlier about it. I don't know if anybody saw who's watching this, but he's averaging 23.4 points per game, 6.8 assists per game on the season. He's averaging 28.4 points per game and 8.4 assists per game over his last 12 games, and then 30.1 points per game and 8.6 assists per game over his last 7, taking 22.4 shots per game during the span. So he's actually getting better in terms of stats as the season goes on. In terms of points, he's cleared this 25.5 number in 5 of his last 7 games. In terms of assists, he's cleared the 6.5 number in 5 of his last 6 games. Goes up against a Nets team that struggles on defense, especially against, kind of teams that are off the radar, not good teams. They struggle even more against bad teams, which makes, I guess it's just a motivation thing with the Nets. And they rank 28th in opponent points per game at 117.5, 20th in opponent assists per game at 25. Over under in this game, once again, as I just said, for Harden, 242.5. So I expect, a ton of points to be scored, a ton of shots to be taken by De'Aaron Fox. 2 high-paced teams that play absolutely no defense. Fox's usage rate up at 33.6%, which ranks in the 89th percentile amongst all point guards. I like De'Aaron Fox to go over both these tonight. Again, I'll probably end up only picking one, but I like both of them. You could go both. You could go with both. You could go with none. You could go with one. I like both. I like both tonight. I don't know whether I'm going to take both. We'll have to see. But points are at -110 on DraftKings. Assists at -134 on DraftKings as well. Now we're going to move into the next prop, the last prop that we're going to talk about today, and that is Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. It's becoming automatic. If they don't raise Jimmy Butler's rebounds prop, I'm just going to keep taking it. I don't know what they're waiting for here. Same thing with Draymond Green, how we're just going to keep riding this. And again, Draymond's only missed this once. Jimmy Butler has not missed this rebounding prop, I don't believe, since he's been back from COVID. In 8 games he's returned from COVID, he's cleared this 6.5 rebounding line in every single game, all 8 of them. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds per game over this 8-game span. Clippers are a tough matchup, obviously, as they rank first in opponent rebounds per game at 41.1. But Paul George is out, Kawhi Leonard's out. So look, I think a lot of the toughness of that Clippers matchup obviously gets taken away there. However, this 6.5 number, I mean, look, again, tough matchup, but the 6.5 number is just way too low. And especially without these guys, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, I mean, I don't know why this rebounding line is still at 6.5, but we're going to take advantage of it and take the over at -134 on DraftKings. Now let's get right into it. We'll throw the line on in the bottom here so we get the props going. If you are coming in late, you can see them on the bottom. Be sure to fire in all and any questions, and I will be sure to answer them now. John Wall to score 30-plus points against the Wizards. I'm not huge on it. Yeah, it's the Wizards. They're not good on defense, but 30 is a lot for John Wall. I know it's his former team. I think it's just a lot. How do I feel about Zach Levine at over 28.5 points against the Pacers? Yeah, so Levine's been on a tear. I actually featured him in my Stars and Scrub video on Sal's channel. Levine, let me just pull up a few stats on Levine here. Yeah, okay, so Levine, over his last 5 games, averaging 34.4 points per game, shooting 55% from the field, 55% from 3 on 8 attempts. Plays a Pacers team, which is a pretty tough matchup, but it's Zach Levine. Guy's playing like an all-star this year. Guy's usage rate is at 30.9%. I think he'll get a lot of opportunities, obviously. I mean, he's the number 1 option, and I think that, over 28.5 is a good bet, even against the Pacers. Any and all questions, we are here for... We got some time today, so be sure to send in all questions, and I will be sure to answer them all like normal. Any other questions we got? Be sure to send them all in. Yeah, so just going to talk, while I wait for questions to come in, just going to talk about my stars and scrubs tonight. So yeah, I had James Harden at $10,700 in DraftKings as a star that I like. Levine at $9,200 as a star that I like against Indiana. Bradley Beal in DraftKings priced at $8,900. That is, I mean, that's way too low. So I like him a lot in DraftKings. De'Aaron Fox, $8,800. I just spoke about why I like him. Scrubs on the slate, I like DeAndre Jordan at $4,500. Nerlens Noel at $4,400. Nemanja Bjelica, depending on Bagley status is another guy that I'm eyeing. So those are my DFS plays that I had in my video. All right, we got some questions finally. Here we go. Joe Ingles. Yeah, so let me go check out Joe Ingles' lines here. I'm assuming you mean points if you just write Joe Ingles. So playing the Sixers, not the easiest matchup ever at all. But Ingles has been really solid lately. Up here we go. Popped up. Okay. So Ingles' line is at 12.5. Let me go take a look at Basketball Reference here for his stats. Keep sending in the questions. We got some time. So yeah, so last few games, 8 points, 27, 24. So he could really he could either explode or I think the other night he had he started the game, he was 4 for 4 from 3 within 4 minutes of the game. So I mean that would have basically almost covered it already. So yeah, his points 8, 27, 24, 7, 10, 7, 10, 6, 5. So he's pretty inconsistent. It's against Philly, so I don't love it, but 12.5 is not a lot, so I don't hate it either. I'm neutral on it. Harden under 27.5 points. Yeah, I thought that the line was also pretty high. Yeah, I mean, he's just been mostly just like a facilitator, and you think Kyrie's probably going to get all the points. That being said, it is against the Kings, and the Kings are so bad on defense, so it does worry me. A guy like Harden, I mean, if he's so efficient, he hasn't been putting up a lot of shots. He's only averaging 14.6 shots per game with the Nets, and meanwhile, with the Nets only taking 14 shots per game, he's averaging what? Let's plug it in here. Yeah. So in 14 games with the Nets, he's averaging 23 points, and he's only taking 14 shots per game. So if his shots go up a little bit just from KD not being there, I mean, he could easily hit this over. So I'm not huge on it just because of the matchup and just because of KD being out. How do we feel about Julius Randle? We like him today a lot. And the reason why is because, hold on, a little laggy on the stream here. 1 second. All right, so Julius Randle plays against the Hawks. The Hawks ranked 25th in the NBA in opponent points in the paint per game. So as a result, I mean, Julius Randle, I believe his points prop is only 21 or 22 tonight, 21.5 or 22.5. I like Randle over. Favorite prop plays today, they're on the bottom, going on the. I mean, there's a reason they're on the bottom here. I just spoke about them at the beginning of this video. Draymond Green over 8.5 assists, James Harden over 10.5 assists, Jarrod Fox over 25.5 points, or over 6.5 assists, Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. Julius Randle over 4.5 assists or over points. Yeah, as I just said, Hawks are not good guarding the paint. I like Randle over points. Assists 4.5 is sort of low, so I don't mind that as well. Patrick Williams over 4.5 boards. Yeah, so Patrick Williams, I mean, as long as none of those other guys are back, I haven't been able to. Let me just take a look here. Apologize for the spotty Wi-Fi today. It's not great. Yeah, I don't believe that any of these guys are coming back. Yeah, I don't think any of these guys are coming back. So yeah, I like Patrick Williams just filling in. I like him over 4.5 boards against the Pacers. Buddy Hield over 24.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Yeah, so I mean, he plays the Nets, but Buddy Hield he's been so inconsistent this year. I'm not huge on Buddy Hield. I would just stick to Fox. Same with Harrison Barnes. Those guys are so inconsistent. Trae Young over 11.5 assists plus odds. I'm staying away. The Knicks are extremely good on defense, and they play slow pace. That's a recipe for disaster in terms of opponent over props. If you look here, the Knicks are second in the NBA in opponent assists per game at 22.2. They are first in the NBA at opponent points per game at 103.3. Not a good recipe for props for Trae Young. So I'm not a huge fan of the over assists. Even at 10.5, I'm not a huge fan either. What's the projected for Kyrie's 3-pointers made? Let me go check it right now. It's probably a 2.5 like it normally is. Loading up here. 2.5 at -110. Yeah, so I'm a fan of it I'm a fan of his over 2.5 threes. I actually like that a lot with KD out. He's going to take a lot of shots tonight. Kevin Huerter over 19.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Again, you got to worry a little bit about the Knicks defense, slow pace. Not a lot of guys score against them. They don't let up a lot of points. That being said, Kevin Huerter has been really good lately. I'm just taking a look at his game logs recently because I want to read them out here. So 10, 10, 10, 5 last game, 5, 4, and 2. Obviously not a good game there, but then 23, 8, and 3, 19, 4, and 3, 16, 1, and 1, 21, 10, and 5. Yeah, I mean, generally he's been hitting it. I like it. Any other questions we got? Any other questions? Fire them all in. Any other questions? Going to wait in here a few more minutes, and if we don't get a lot more questions, then I'm going to head out, but going to wait for them to flow in. Anything else? John Collins under points. So yeah, I mean, Collins is another guy that's just been really inconsistent. He has been heating up a little bit. Let me just take a look at his points prop. Is at 18.5 at plus money. 18.5 for Collins. Going to take a quick look here. Yeah, so 18, 9, 33, 19, 17, 35. Yeah, he's not going to put up he's not going to put up in the 30s against the Knicks. I'm good with him under points. It is pretty juiced though at -139. So that is something to consider. That would hold me back a little bit. Any Cavs props tonight? Yeah, so in my Monkey Knife Fight props on Sal's channel, I had Sexton over 20.5 points. That's gone up. That's at like 23.5 now. So I'm not huge on that anymore. I don't have any Cavs props tonight, but I think Sexton could have a huge night. I'm just not huge on the 23.5 prop. So no Cavs props. That's the answer. Rashawn Holmes over 21.5 points, rebounds, assists. I like it against the Nets. What's the best prop lock for the night? They're on the bottom. On the bottom line here, Draymond Green over 8.5 assists, James Harden over 10.5 assists, De'Aaron Fox over 25.5 points / De'Aaron Fox over 6.5 assists, and then the last one, Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. What about Steph Curry over 5.5 threes? All right. Plus money. Yeah, so I like Curry a lot tonight, and I think one of the main reasons is because he was not good last game. So theoretically with Steph Curry, if he has an off game, you think he's going to probably recover next game. Now, listen to these stats we got right here on Curry. I'm going to try to bring it up. And I don't have it here. All right, but bottom line, Cleveland ranks 30th in the NBA in opponent three-point percentage per game. I believe they're like 39.9%. I could go look that up right now. Yeah, Cleveland in opponent three-point percentage per game is dead last. Yeah, 39.7%. So they let up a high percentage of their threes, high percentage of three-point attempts go in, I should say, against them. And then they let up 13.2 threes per game, which to their opponents, which is tied 21st in the NBA, ironically with Golden State, who they're playing tonight. I think it's worth a play at plus money. 5.5 is a lot, but I think Curry goes off tonight. Yeah, Harden over 11 assists. So all my prop blocks are on the bottom in this little thing on the bottom line here. So yeah, be sure to just check that out. Those are all my props. I spoke about them earlier in the video, but I do understand that some people are coming in late. So yeah. Jarrett Allen, 12.5 rebounds. Yeah, I mean, I like Allen. I like Allen tonight, but the issue with Jarrod Allen is that 12.5 is a high number. So again, the Warriors, they're not a good rebounding team. The Warriors ranked 29th in opponent rebounds per game at 48.3. So, yeah, they're going to let up a ton of rebounds. If I had to guess a side, I would go over, but I do think it is a high line for him. Now, obviously, Drummond being out completely obviously helps that a lot. Steph Curry over 25 points, yes. Going with 25 points with Draymond over 8.5 assists, yes. Yeah, I like the odds on that. Good parlay. Draymond over 6.5 boards against Cleveland. He's been a little bit inconsistent with the rebounding. Like some games he'll go off for 10 rebounds and some he'll have like 5. So I just rather would stick to assists. Can Duncan Robinson get 12 points? They play against the Clippers tonight without Paul George, without Kawhi Leonard. Yes, I think he'd get 12. But again, another guy who's been very inconsistent this year. So, any more questions? Bradley Beal over 2.5 threes. He plays against the. Let me just grab it. So yeah, he's against Houston. Houston is good defensively, but 2.5 threes I do like. I feel a big Bradley Beal game going. Tobias Harris over 20.5 points. Yeah, I like it. Tobias is having a great year. He's been so consistent also. He's been like hovering around that 20-point range. If I had to guess, I would go over. I mean, Utah is a very tough matchup. That's the thing. So I think that's the one thing that has to hold you back a little bit. You got to be a little bit concerned. They're also blowing every team out. Utah, they rank third in the NBA in opponent points per game at 105.7. Just really good defensive team, but ultimately Tobias on the season, averaging 20 points per game. Last few games with Tobias, 18, 17, 22, 21. Yeah, honestly, I would hold off on. Normally I like Tobias over points. Tonight I would hold off. Actually, I'm doing a little bit of 180 here, mid explanation. But yeah, I just didn't think about him being against Utah tonight. But I would stay away for now. I'm neutral on it. Any DeMarcus Cousins props that you like against the Wizards? Bad paint defense. Just another guy who you don't know what you're going to get from him. Night in, not out. Night in, night out. He's just inconsistent. Averaging 9.1 points per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, yet his props are like 12.5 points and 10.5 rebounds. Last few games, he's gone 10 and 10, 16 and 11, 7 and 7, 9 and 9. I mean, I don't think you could rely on him to go over 10.5 rebounds, that's for sure. Points, 12.5, you can't rely on him either. So yeah, theoretically up against a bad paint defense in the Wizards, I think it could be good. I also think that if it's a blowout, which again, it could be, I mean, the Rockets have been really bad also lately, but without Christian Wood, I'm not huge on Cousins. I'm just not. I bet him earlier in the year. He didn't get it done for me. He's just been way too inconsistent for me to throw a prop on him. Any other questions we got? Again, apologize. A little bit of a spotty Wi-Fi today. My bad on that. We'll get it fixed. Any other questions? Any other questions? Going to wait a few minutes for more to come in, if there are any. Thank you once again for watching, by the way, everyone. Really appreciate it. Any Donovan Mitchell props with Conley still out? Yeah, so I have been looking at assists. That kind of ran out a little bit. They do play the Sixers, which is a tough matchup. I assume assists is probably around 5.5 or 6.5. Let me go take a look at this. Donovan Mitchell assists is at 6.5 at plus money. Yeah, I'm staying away from 6.5. If you get it at 5.5 assists, then I would do it. But if at 6.5, I'm not huge on. John Wall under 7.5 assists against the Wizards. Absolutely. I will not do. I will not go under. First of all, he's playing his former team. Second of all, Wizards can't play defense. Bad combination for Wall unders. No product in my hair right now. Alfred Payton over 15.5 points plus rebounds. Alfred Payton has been playing well. I'm a Knick fan. I dislike Alfred Payton a lot. Like, he's not good. And if Alfred Payton has a bad few minutes to open, he'll only play like 20 minutes. Plays a decent Hawks defense. Has been playing well lately. I would stay away from it just because I think that you get inconsistent minutes with him. If Quickly's playing well, Quickly will get a bunch of Alfred's minutes. John Wall over 25.5, Westbrook over 20.5. If you could get Westbrook at like 20, if you could get Wall at like 23.5, I think it actually moved up a lot. If you were able to get Wall at 23.5, 24.5, then I would do it. 25.5 is a bit too steep. Now, Russell Westbrook, I actually just got an alert as we speak from Fantasy Labs. Russell Westbrook will have his minutes monitored. So minutes monitored, can't go with the over if his minutes are being monitored. Bam Adebayo over 17.5 points. Yeah, a lot of guys are out. A lot of guys, I don't really know how much he'd be matching up. He wouldn't really be matching up with the guys who are out. But Bam averaging 19.5 points per game on the season, 17.5 points against a good Clippers defense. Hasn't done well lately. I think he could do well going forward tonight. Bounce back. I'm not huge on Bam tonight, honestly. He just hasn't been, again, another guy that hasn't been that consistent. I know he's averaging over 19.5, and this is at 17.5, but I'm not huge on it. Kelly Olynyk over 7.5 rebounds, assists. Yeah, he's been playing well. I'm good with that. He gets a decent amount of minutes also. Rudy Gobert over 14.5 points. Matches up against Embiid. Tough matchup against Philly. Now, let me get points in the paint stats for you with Philly. Philly ranks 9th in the NBA in points in the paint allowed, but Gobert's mostly just like a dunks guy. Let me just take a quick look at Gobert's game logs. So Gobert, 16, 27, 18, 16. He's cleared in his last 4. Yeah, I'm good with it. I'm good with it then. I believe I got Fox 6.5 assists. Let me go check this. It was minus 134 when I wrote everything down on DraftKings. Kyrie Irving over 27.5 points. Yeah, I'm good with that. I think Kyrie has a big night. I think Harden has a big night, but I think Kyrie Irving's the guy that gets the points with KD out. Any more questions we got? Any more questions? Be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. The like really helps me out. So does the subscription. So be sure to subscribe. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon. I do NBA player prop podcasts. It's kind of just like in this format, like I spoke about at the beginning. I'm going through props on a podcast version on my Patreon Tuesdays and Thursdays. Also, we got a great Discord going with all the people subscribed. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Yeah, so talking about this right now. So do I do this every night? I do this on my YouTube channel Monday and Wednesday and Friday, but then Tuesday, Thursday, I strictly on Patreon doing a podcast there. Patreon link is in the link below if you want to go check that out. Joe Harris over 14.5 points without KD against a bad Sacramento Kings defense. I like it. Sabonis 22.5 points. Another guy that's been a little bit inconsistent against a bad Chicago defense as well, though. I like it. Yeah, Joe Harris over, like I just said. Yes. Over 2.5 threes. I'm good with that as well. I'm good with most of the Nets overs tonight, honestly. Except for that one Harden thing we spoke about, a little bit high there. Thoughts on Kobe White? Another guy. Inconsistent. Tough matchup. I'm just checking Kobe White's game. I know he went off a few games ago. Now let me just check see how he's continued here. Playing a ton of minutes. 17 his last game, 38, 13, 16. Kobe White. Just going to go check his prop right here. Sorry, again, slow Wi-Fi tonight. Yeah, I'm not going over 16.5 points with him. That's too much. Over 4.5 is, yeah, I'm not touching anything Kobe White. Olynyk 5.5 rebounds. Yeah, I'm good with that. I know that the Clippers are a good rebounding team, but Olynyk has been playing well. I'm just going to go quick to his game. He's averaging 6 rebounds per game this season. 10, 13 in his last 2. Yeah, no Kawhi, no Paul George. I like it. Yeah, the plays are on the bottom. They're going along on the bottom here, my plays. Draymond Green over 8.5 assists. James Harden over 10.5 assists. De'Aaron Fox over 25.5 points / over 6.5 assists. Jimmy Butler over 6.5 rebounds. So, yeah, if you guys ever join late, just that's why I have the thing going on the bottom. Just those are my plays on the bottom, just to clear that up. Butler over 20.5 points. I'd lean more towards rebounds, which is what I have. Jimmy Butler, 6.5 rebounds. He's been inconsistent with scoring. Also not scoring that much at all. Any other questions? Once again, be sure to check out Thrive Fantasy. Great app for player props. Great app for player props in form of just a little bit of a different game. It's just very unique. Player props for basically daily fantasy, just very unique. And I think that most people, if you're looking at props, you have a major edge going on Thrive Fantasy, because if you know props well, you're going to be able to pick 5 that they out of the 10 they present you and probably get most of them right. So that could mean winning money for you. So be sure to check that out. Use the promo code BURD, BURD, with a minimum deposit of $20, and they will match your deposit up to $50. Check that out. Any other questions we got before we head off? All right, looks like we are good for the day. Once again, thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at sports_Burd, BURD, that is. Also, be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. It really helps me out. Thank you everyone once again for watching, and good luck with your prop betting tonight.